Also to Capitol Hill, where the Senate grew some teeth and just narrowly voted to pass the president's so-called big, beautiful budget bill. Vice President J.D. Vance delivered the final tiebreaker vote. The Senate vote-a-rama started yesterday. It stretched for more than 24 hours. So a lot to talk about here. Let's bring in CBS News congressional correspondent Nikole Killion live for us now on Capitol Hill. Nikole, this is like watching a game of tennis that is very, very, very intense. And now it goes back over the net to the House.
Yeah, or it could be like watching paint dry, which is, for those of us who have been here on Capitol Hill, the experience for some, in that, this process was a series of stops and starts. I mean, over the weekend, we saw them read the bill for 16 hours. As you mentioned, this vote-a-rama went for about 24 hours. Even some senators dozed off during that process. But when they got ready to vote, that moved in very swift fashion. And so a lot of that was because of some last-minute changes that were made in the bill, most notably upping the number for this rural hospital fund. One of the things we've been talking about for so long has been this issue of Medicaid and the cuts that potentially could occur because of this package. And while Republicans continue to argue they're just cutting waste, fraud, and abuse, there are some concerns about how these changes may impact everyday Americans, with the CBO projecting upwards of 11.8 million people could potentially lose their health coverage. So from that standpoint, there were a lot of concerns on the part of senators about how this might impact rural hospitals. So that was something that was thrown in at the very last minute and helped win over senators like Alaska's Lisa Murkowski, who was one of the senators who was on the fence. So now that this is all wrapped up in the Senate, it obviously will go over to the House, but already we are hearing some concerns from members over there because the Senate version, while not dramatically different from what the House sent over, does have some significant changes, and it is taking a bit for some of these members to digest. So we'll see how things play out over there. They're expected to come back for votes tomorrow.
Yeah, and President Trump said from the now so-called alligator Alcatraz that he felt like it would have an easier go over in the House. We're also hearing from some Republicans who voted against the bill in the Senate. Who were they, and what did they say about why they made that choice?
Yeah, well, a couple of them we knew from the outset because they voted against moving forward with this package from the beginning over the weekend. When this package, there were a series of procedural votes, and that was Rand Paul as well as Tom Tillis. In the case of Rand Paul, his concern is always about bending the cost curve and adding to the debt and deficit. So in terms of trying to raise the debt limit in this package, that is something that he was against in terms of hiking it upwards of $5 trillion. In the case of Tom Tillis, of course, we saw he made the decision over the weekend not to seek re-election. His big concern was, again, some of these changes to the Medicaid provisions that he thought would hurt his state. Furthermore, he wasn't too happy about the process of moving this through or ramming it through, as he described. And then you have Susan Collins, who was one of those moderate Republicans pushing for that rural hospital fund. And she was pushing for that to be upwards of $100 billion. But as you can see in her statement, she said that while she strongly supports extending tax relief for families and small businesses, her vote against this bill stems primarily from the harmful impact it will have on Medicaid, affecting low-income families and rural health care providers like our hospitals and nursing homes. So I actually caught her on the way out after votes, and she pointed to that statement. She said even though she was glad that they ultimately increased that amount for rural hospitals from 25 to 50 billion, it still wasn't enough for her because, as she said in her statement, she still feels that some of these Medicaid cuts go too far.
Well, and we also understand you had a chance to talk to Senator Lindsey Graham about some of the amendments that were made to the bill over the last 24 hours, which was really when we saw some things take shape. What stood out to you? What did you learn from the senator?
Yeah, that's right. Well, keep in mind, he was one of the ones who kind of shepherded this process. He is the Senate budget chairman, so most of this bill went through and originated in his committee. But I did ask him a little bit about the process because, as I mentioned, while this bill, the text of the bill came out late Friday, again, these last-minute changes were thrown out right before they voted. And so I asked him whether or not that process was fair. Take a listen. Can you just talk about the process, though? Why drop that amendment at the last minute, even though you've been working on it? Why drop it at the last minute, and do you think it was fair?
What amendment?
I mean, all these changes were rolled in at the last minute. The amendment dropped right before the vote. Some people didn't even have a chance to see it.
Yeah, it's the wraparound amendment. You take all the things you negotiate.
But people barely had a chance to look at it, sir.
They had plenty of chance to look at it. They're not going to vote for the bill anyway. The people that were going to vote for the bill had a chance to have the bill changed, and you put it all in a big pot. They looked at it, they challenged it with the parliamentarian. The parliamentarian ruled it was in order, and that's just the way the legislative process works. That's what they did with Obamacare. That's what they did with Inflation Reduction Act. Bottom line is, I think this bill over time will prove to be beneficial to the American people.
So again, Senator Graham, Chairman Graham, defending the process there. And it is true, we also saw this on the House side, right before they had their vote on the bill, they released what was called a manager's amendment that had all of those changes, when they're kind of working out those last minute deals with lawmakers. But literally this dropped right before they voted. We didn't even see some of the language. So that is something, obviously, it didn't stop the bill from getting passed because some senators had been briefed on those changes. Some of them had been amendments that were voted down previously in the bill. So either way, it is now on its way to the House, where Senator Graham says he believes they will sign on to it.
All right, so that's his perspective, the perspective of many members of his party, the lion's share of his party. But you also heard from Democrats after that bill passed the Senate. Where does the party go from here?
Yeah, well, they were some of the ones expressing concern about, only having a few minutes to kind of look through that final language. But as far as they're concerned, certainly Democrats remained in lockstep opposition against this bill, again, because they continue to be concerned about the potential impact, whether it's with respect to Medicaid, whether it's the cuts to food assistance, whether it's, the amount that this will add to the national debt and deficit. So from that standpoint, Democrats are likely to continue to use this bill as a talking point as far as campaign messaging is concerned going forward. They're likely to also oppose this package in the House. Take a listen to what Leader Schumer told reporters just a short time ago.
We're going to be in their states in every way. We are going to organize. We are going to have all the people who are hurt organized. You're going to see a constant battle in those states, reminding people day in and day out of what happened. And that's going to be we Democrats in the Senate. It's going to be all of the groups who were hurt so badly. It's going to be just average folks. You saw how many people marched last month. There'll be many more marches, many more protests against this big, ugly betrayal.
So again, as you hear there, Democrats plan to use this as a messaging point against this bill, one that will likely stretch throughout the midterms into next year. But look, Republicans, for their part, intend to campaign on this as well, particularly the tax cut portions of the bill and also the additional funding for border security, which were campaign promises that President Trump put out there during his own campaign. So these will be competing messages that we will continue to hear in the months to come.
Yeah, this bill is going to be seen as the cause. There will be an effect. It just depends on how the American citizenry and the electorate see the effects of this. That could write the next story, the next chapter in politics. Nikole Killion, always great to talk to you.